I'm Kate Milliken. Each case of MS is unique, but symptoms often involve cognitive function. Nearly 50% of people with MS suffer from cognitive issues. The good news is that there's been progress in research and exercises that can improve cognitive health. Here's more.
The two core features of cognitive disorder in MS are problems with multitasking and memory. How well can you learn and remember things that happened just a half hour ago or yesterday or the day before?
Cognitive changes occur in up to 50% or more of people with MS, and they can occur at any time during the course of MS. They can be the very first symptoms that people have. On the other hand, many people with MS never experience cognitive changes.
Our team is studying cognitive reserve, which is the capacity that some people have, more than others, to compensate at a neural level for a brain injury. Over the course of some 3 or 4 years, we followed patients with neuropsychological testing. And of course, some of them showed marked decline over time, and some didn't. And as it turns out, if you go back and look at the patients at their baseline assessment and categorize them by education level or by other estimates of their premorbid intelligence, we find that that decline on cognition over time is much more prevalent in those with lower IQs and lower reading levels at baseline than those that are of higher intelligence. There's also some evidence that the patients that have high cognitive reserve are also better able to benefit from what we call neural compensation in the brain that can be induced by behavioral intervention. If that's your brain, then you want to give your brain a reason to try to do that. And so you want to keep your mind working.
There are two main ways in which we could potentially treat cognitive changes. One would be through medications, the other would be through rehabilitation, particularly things that people can do on their own, self-management techniques that they could utilize which would help them to deal with the cognitive changes that they experience.
We have a great deal of confidence that the brain is working hard to compensate for the injury that it suffered. It's trying to use the neural passages in the brain in creative and new ways in order to accomplish the tasks that it's used to trying to accomplish. And it may be even growing new cells or new cell connections.
So this is what we refer to, of course, as neural repair. And that's a very exciting area of research which would benefit MS in general, but particularly cognitive functioning. And there's been a lot of discussion about exercise and how it may improve cognitive functioning in the elderly or people with other conditions.
I'll wave a magic wand and look at things 10 years from now, let's say, in each of these areas. I do think that there'll be off-label medications for cognitive impairment. There's a lot of drugs out there that we know work in healthy people. They ought to be working in MS. And I think there'll be a time where we can have some prescriptions for patients to really address the mental speed and the memory issues that they're dealing with. We're going to learn a lot more about cognitive rehabilitation and the influence of exercise. There is intense interest, and I know of a number of investigators that are really working hard on that question right as we're speaking. Some combination of exercise and behavioral retraining, I think, is probably going to be where we're going to go.
We do have at least one study that's currently underway looking at whether or not aerobic exercise may enhance cognitive functioning in MS. And if we find that that is the case, then that would be something else that we could add to the mix. The side benefit of that is that exercise has a lot of other benefits for people with MS, benefits in terms of their physical strength and endurance, benefits in terms of fatigue, quality of life, depression, and so forth. So if we can find that exercise also helps cognitive dysfunction, that would be a real plus.